But I found this workaround. If you take either a render from Midjourney or PromeAI, or a picture from Google, or a render from your project, and then throw it into this, and then make a sketch out of it, and then you can throw that into Photoshop and make easy and fast manipulations to that image, and then make PromeAI re-render styles over that, so you kind of progress the more precise concept development in that workflow. So let's just try the blueprint here. The blueprint is kind of like very, very clear outlines of each object in the scene. So press that. Under the mode, you just take the precise and then just generate. I just generate 3 here because, as you can see with these kind of sketches I've already done, there's kind of little changes to each and every sketch, and some are more precise and some are more creative, and you want to have the sketch that is as precise as possible. So here you can see them. Yeah, these are very interesting, huh? So this is a good sketch here. So I think this is very, very interesting because you can see up here, for example, it exactly draws the line as the view was with these very thin plates here, which is very unrealistic. So we want to remove those. Also, it has made some changes to the railings up here. So that's a slight geometry change. So we can try to see our picture up here. Maybe it's okay to have an interruption of the symmetry in the room here. It's a very, very symmetrical room. Maybe it's too much. It's good to have something that breaks that symmetry. So let's just say that this is an interesting geometry sketch of this photo we have. Then we just go up here and we take a full download and we just throw it into Photoshop. So I find Photoshop to be an interesting place to sketch over sketches like this, because you can make very fast changes and modification to the sketch. So for example, I think that it could be interesting to change the ceiling a little bit. I think that these lines up here are very special. We want to remove them like that. And also over here, we don't want that geometry. That's a little bit too much in this interior. Also this one here. And maybe we want some geometry that the ceiling maybe makes a little lift in the ceiling there, maybe something like this. So this could be an interpretation of a ceiling that kind of have this little geometry push up there. So we can maybe even help PromeAI a little bit by making this a little gray, so it can see the difference between the geometry. So that's just a way to help PromeAI a little bit. There's something special going on here. Let's just remove these ceiling boards or whatever that is. Maybe that's some acoustics or something like that, but let's just remove them for the sake of simplicity in this picture. And maybe this is also a little bit special. Just remove that line also. And this line here maybe, and this up here, maybe also this line here, we can hit it like that. So you can see now it's a much more cleaner interpretation of the room. That's exactly what these sketches are very good at, because this is a hard manipulation of a photo to make these changes here. But in a sketch like this, you can very fast make geometry changes to the interior. Maybe we want to make some small spotlights in the ceiling there. We just make it very, very fast like that. So if we're happy with this sketch, we can obviously just save it as 47. So let's just say this was our geometry changes to the room. Quite simple, but you can obviously do all kinds of things. But let's just jump into PromeAI again, go to the AI tools, and then go to the sketch rendering. And under the mode, we want to use the precision concept, which is very, very good at preserving details while still being able to do something creative with our sketch. And under the creativity, if you bump this too high, let's say 80 or 90 or something like that, the AI will not reference this as a control image. So you will get some different results than this. And if you bump it down here, it'll not make that much of a change for this. So this is kind of like a balancing act. I'd like to start around 50 or maybe a little bit over. Let's try around 60 or something like that for this picture here, so that we still have the geometry from this image, but it also has some creative power to enhance our scene here with some of the styles that we have put into the engine. For example, the interior style. All right, so here we are. That's interesting. We can already see now there is different results and different interpretations of the picture. So this is interesting, huh? You can see right away that it is a good picture. Maybe the background is a little bit too faded or too dull. It should be more light, but that's easily fixable in Photoshop. But what we can also see is that it's a great interpretation of the room and the design. Even has some functional flooring and retained the wood on the furniture. But see how it makes this ceiling very, very close to our sketch in Photoshop. That's a fast way to work in geometry changes of the project. And then this, Yeah, so this is also interesting and a completely different room. And I think the floor is not very good here. We don't want this kind of urban texture. It looks like a carpet, but with this texture of some urban concrete tiles or something like that. That's not very interesting. But very, very nice furniture and colors. And again, correct geometry up here and all kinds of installations in the ceiling. You can see there is spotlights there and here, just as we defined in the sketch that we made. So this is a way that you can kind of sketch with a project by using Photoshop to make quick geometry sketches and then throw it back into sketch rendering in PromeAI. If you found this video useful, the full course is available at cadman.dk. PromeAI Masterclass for Architects.